So how do you get cheap power now? In the now? What's the quickest way? Well, wind turbine, I guess, if you can build one at the back. If you got one, that can produce some quick power for you with an alternator. Right. Some solar panels. Of course, you just need some batteries. They can be sort of dead just to make the system function. To go through a battery system. So it's a little bit like your phone when the battery's sort of dead, but it can still work when you plug it in. Right. So you can get ages on that, on these systems. And you set up that system, and as long as you're not up at night too much, so don't connect overseas too much and try and about to get out of certain things, and try not to stay up too late, and get into a better routine if you want to save power, and get yourself some of those French Chinese solar panels, more than you need, thanks to China, right? At least they got some part they can help us out with, right? And as we can't manufacture it any better, as we want more money than China people want for their work, right? Slave or not, depends, even if they've got half their pay, right? But we want more than what they want when it comes to trying to get them made, right? And the ability to make them now with the things that we've got and the things they've got, right? And so the good thing about that is they talk about how much you can save on your previous electricity. So you get these panels and all that, they can save you double to triple on your previous electricity cost of what you would have used now, in the now, what you basically used, and a little bit into the future, so it pays itself back. But you know the extra better bonus about these solar panels, so I've noticed, most people have got more than they need, they can pull in a fair bit, and they only use a little bit. They might be at work and stuff like that, and so they've got all these abilities to absorb it from the sun, the power. I talk about it during the day on mine, is you want to max it out when you have these systems, and you really want to get things going with what you can put out. You have machinery going, right, and you get workers going at your house with electricity stuff. I go out there blowing down the street and charge my batteries on this power while I can, and we use as much power. The more I can spread that around, which I did a little bit. That's what I talked about when people saw me out. You know, I like to do this to relax. It gives me something to do, helps me fix fibrosis, and it's green, right? It doesn't cost me any money. I'm not going out to get anything. This machine's pretty good. It'll go for a while and then it'll dysfunction. I won't overuse it. I've gotten my time out of the cost of it already, so on, so on, so on. So that's what I'm doing, right? That's why people ask, why people want to be doing certain things. And then they can go ahead and assume if I'm lying or not. Right? Depends on how much you know someone to what they say to you. Right? And so when it comes to solar power, I can produce more power, have more power. You can share it to people who don't have power, to also so they have cheaper power, because they're a cool neighbour, right? And you can hook up lines, which is what I talked about to Emma that I was perhaps going to do when I got these solar panels, didn't I, Emma? Yeah. About sharing power. But of course you got to have friends, and you can chuck over a cord, and you can go, look, you can use at least 1,000 watts. I'll know how much if you use more and try to be greedy, and I'll just cut you off, and I won't give you we'll talk about it, and we can't handle that rule, then I guess I can't give it to you. You know what I mean? Some free power. And that's how you can get even more things cheaper for everyone, until they can get the ability while they got cheaper power, and then they can save up some money to get the same thing and then do the same thing for other people, definitely if they're not using it. Or you can use that extra power by doing more during those times. You pick the times, right times to do it, like they say with shopping, and you'll be able to get more for your bang of your buck, right, when it comes to solar panels. And that's all I've got to say. If you want power now, right, and the economy is struggling, lucky the economy already is done that way already, because if you're relying on systems collapsing, that's a good thing that went that way while they were making their mind up on which direction exactly a confused government's going to go. But you know how they go. They'll say one thing, 4 years it's another, and that can keep it that row if they don't want to stick to certain ways of communicating and doing things right, and make sure that the people make sure that that happens. What shall we do? What are we going to do? Anyway, I thought I'd talk about that. That's probably the quickest way. Definitely people who want to be reliable and not have to worry about things. And the more they can do that, the more the grid doesn't need to worry about the growth, because the growth is doing that. If the growth does that, then the grid won't have to panic as they're producing more than they need to, that type of growth. True. But anyway, that's not the best way. We know about how they're made and all that kind of stuff. But if they're made already and they're sitting around, some people think solar panels aren't working, it's this and that. Just needs a little tweak, little this, and away they go. They're quite fine. They're little power plants sitting everywhere, really losing their potential, don't you think? Well, we got them, we can use them, and that'll help us get on to the next part so we don't have to keep using them. True? Have a good one, and see you later.